What's up, guys? EDA here, and we're going to be doing a review of the Netherlands versus England semi-final game from the Euros. And guys, what a game! It's one that I'm very excited to cover, not only because England are progressing to the final against Spain, but there's a couple key points and a couple things that I really wanted to cover. So going into the game, both the Netherlands and England found their way into the semis, but have been slightly disappointing, haven't performed to the best of their abilities or to the quality of players that they may have, particularly in England's case. The case of Netherlands, they had to come through the group as a third place team, found their way into the semis after beating Turkey, and this was an opportunity for either team to go up against best team in the Euros, Spain so far, and one-on-one match in 90 minutes, in 120 minutes, whatever it may be, best team could come out on the day, and that isn't necessarily Spain. So each team was looking for an opportunity to progress. As you can see, England won. The game kicked off with a goal from Xavi Simons, and again it was one where it came from an error from England. Tom Rice losing the ball in the middle of the park, definitely where you don't want to lose it, especially with a Xavi Simons who's coming in with a lot of energy. He picks up that ball, it's like a dog. He sniffs out that ball as soon as he realizes Rice doesn't have it under control and explodes. He doesn't wait, he doesn't play any games. He attacks the goal, direct, shoots and scores. And the shot, again, very powerful, very pacey. But there's some questions about if Pickford should get a hand to it. He doesn't. They score, they go up 1-0. And as an England fan, as someone who has an invested interest in terms of how this game was going to be played out, I had some concerns about when England would come back and how long it would take them to come back. It happened a lot sooner than I thought. Harry Kane getting his goal in the 18th minute. The foul is very dubious. There's been comments on, was it reckless from Dumfries as Harry Kane was going to shoot. Dumfries' foot came out as well. Dumfries got a nick on the ball first, but also caught Kane. And for me, if the referee doesn't call that in the moment, VAR shouldn't bring that back. That's my argument. It's not a clear and obvious error. Do I think in some cases it could be a foul? Yes, in others it couldn't. For me personally, but it's not a hill I'm gonna die on, to be honest with you, because I've seen, and this is the problem with football. Referees referee the game in so many different ways. VAR is applied in so many different ways, and so that's one of the things I keep in mind. I don't think it was a penalty. I don't think VAR should have intervened, but it was. And we need to have a constant review and analysis in terms of how VAR is used, and when there needs to be those checks and balances. But throughout the rest of the first half, England were in control. That's the best half of football that they've played in the Euros, and it was kind of evident in the moment they had through the game. As you can see with the graph that we have, England had a large portion of control through the first half. Again, not surprising. I think one of the things that really stood out to me is the midfield pairing of Mainu and Declan Rice were very effective. It seemed like the Netherlands didn't actually have a midfield. They were just bypassed in the first half very easily. It was attack or defence. And that's the thing that kind of carried forward into the second half. It was around the 60th minute in the game where, similar to the last game that England had, they started to lose control. And for me, as soon as you start to lose control, something needs to change. Especially when you've been so dominant in the first half. And so when I saw that, and it was around the 60th minute, and I think, according to Footmob, England was still in the ascendancy, but I could see that was going to change. It was very clear, the energy was low, they weren't moving as they were previously, and the impetus was gone. And I think with England and the amount of quality that they have on the bench, you need to make subs. So in my head, 60th minute, start getting the subs ready. I was waiting for quite a while, and in that time that we were waiting, I think it was around the mid 70 mark, or it might have been the mid 80 mark, or early 80 mark, sorry. Netherlands were gaining control, they were creating chances, they were putting England on the back foot, and that's where a large portion of their shots actually came from in that period of time. And so again, England are going to need to be proactive, not only as they were in this game, where they probably should have been a bit faster, they're also going to need that in the finals if they want to win. Looking at the stats again, when we'll cover the goal from Watkins at the end, but looking at the stats again, England were in control for most of it. 58% possession. They also had the highest expected goals, double what we were seeing from the Netherlands. As mentioned, bigger goal threat, bigger chances. They also had a goal disallowed for Saka as well for offside from a Walker cross. 9 shots, 2 big chances, for England, none for the Netherlands. And again, I'll talk about the key points of the game. So obviously, in the first half, Pie comes off for Veerman due to an injury. I think that caused an element of a loss of impetus, and the Netherlands weren't as forthcoming as I think they should have been in their approach. Also saw Weghorst come on after half time as well. Luke Shaw came on, which was a big key. Kieran Trippier again puts in an amazing effort, but there's something about having a right footer on the left just not quick enough in terms of the decisions that need to be made, moving the ball, passing. It just was a little bit off in the first half, and I'm very I say proud of Gareth for making that choice very quickly. But to me, that was one of the easier choices he had to make, because when the tide of the game started to change, I think in the last game he was too slow. In this game, he got it right. It was, for me, still late. I identified the issue around the 60th minute, so anywhere within the 60 to 65th, 70th minute, I would have made a change. He's made it at the 81st minute, maybe when the Netherlands team is a little bit more worn down, more susceptible to the pace of Ollie Watkins, to the creativity and guile of Cole Palmer. But whenever he did it, whatever he did, he made the decision to take off Harry Kane and Phil Foden, which he's been not as forthcoming to do so previously, and that was a big move. And I applauded him even before Ollie Watkins winner, but that was a big move, and it paid off for him. It paid off big time. Cole Palmer finds the ball on the right side of the pitch, sees Ollie Watkins making his run, spots him, finds him. Ollie Watkins with a beautiful one. First off, the touch is immaculate, guys. The touch he takes to set himself up and get his body position correct is as good, if not better, than the finish. The finish is amazing. It's a snapshot. He gets himself in the right position, but the positioning from him to be able to execute that shot says a lot about him as a striker. And it was great to see him get that moment, because he was one of the best, if not the best players in the Premier League. Most assists, or he was the assist leader, and was 3 for goals scored in the league. He deserves the opportunity to play at this stage. He deserves the opportunity to replace Harry Kane, especially if he's not performing, and he did his job. I'm happy for Ollie Watkins. England are through to the final. And again, I think from how they've performed and how they've continually gotten better, I think they definitely deserve it over the Netherlands, and I'm happy to see them in the final. But if they want to beat Spain, their levels have to increase. The levels have to go up even more. Where do we start? I'll start from the England perspective. Overall, great team performance. I've spoken about Trippier already. No fault of his own. Right footer on the left side. Just a bit too slow. Shaw coming on was amazing. I'll see what they've given him. 6.5. I think more than the rating, the balance was really good. Left footer on the left side, whipping in balls, being very decisive in what he does. Key players for me, Harry Kane getting the man of the match. I don't think he was that great. He won the penalty, he scored the penalty, but I don't think, for me, he was the stand-up player. The two people who constantly seem to get overlooked are the midfield two of Rice and Mainu. Brilliant balance between them. Declan Rice, hardest worker I've seen, covers so much ground, so many tackles, so many interceptions. When he gets the opportunity, he'll either again pass the ball to his midfield partner, or he'll look to at least play it forward in some way, in some form. So he's not a backwards passer, he's not a complete sideways passer. He'll look to get the ball forward where possible. He's a master in his role. Mainu as well, one of the most talented youngsters that we've seen. He's so mature. His footballing brain and IQ is on a different level to those of his peers. Foden again played decently. He's finding those pockets of space in his formation, which he didn't have previously, which is good to see. Bellingham put in a shift, but again, want to see those levels increase, and they're going to need to increase versus Spain. Walker and Stones was solid as well, and I think the team as a whole performed well. It was their best team performance by a long shot, and we love to see it, and they're going to need that against Spain. We're going to do a preview video of that finals game. Believe me, guys, I'm looking forward to it. Two teams which contain a lot of young, exciting talent. Who's going to come out on top? That is the question. Guys, it's been EDA Talk Sports. England are in the final. Leave your likes, leave your comments. I want to know your outputs from the game and what you've liked and what you didn't like. And I'll be chatting with you guys soon. Peace.